Hello and welcome to Network. My name is SIPHUMELELE ZONDI with your technology and social media news. Today we are coming to you from AFRICACOM in Cape Town. Remember that if you want to be a part of this tech conversation, it's SABCNetwork on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Use network at sabc.co.za on email. We are running a poll on Twitter. Today we are asking if you think it's correct for politicians to keep their private sex content on their mobile devices. Here's what's coming up in the program. We tell you about some of what happened at AFRICACOM, info on the winner of Seed Stars, and we chat to the Minister of Telecommunications. AFRICACOM is the continent's biggest annual tech gathering. Tech startups, big business and governments are all here to try to woo each other and possibly do business too. Many at AFRICACOM think this is the right kind of space to showcase what they do to potential investors and business partners, like the creators of Mobile Schools Health.
Mobile Schools Health brings preventative healthcare services to primary schools all over South Africa. We're focusing on the neediest government schools, those who are the least resourced currently in the country. So the National School Health Policy was introduced in 2012, and at the time government implemented this policy. They really had no way of executing, so they just don't have the resources, unfortunately. And so they recognized that there was a need for another innovative solution to come in to help them deliver this promise to the children around South Africa.
One could also not miss this connected car parked just outside the Cape Town International Convention Center.
Satellite has always been a great filler, to connections anywhere, any place. It is simple, it's tried and tested, and it's well proven in Africa for that matter. But also, there's other technologies like fiber and terrestrial applications, and to really connect the unconnected and to drive applications like we see here today is really it's a hybrid of technologies through all these different type of platforms that would make seamless connectivity possible.
Then there were massive announcements at AFRICACOM. Huawei spoke about why South Africa has been chosen as the tech giant's first data center home in Africa.
Why we choose South Africa as our local data center to hosting Huawei Cloud? Because South Africa obviously has a very good infrastructure in terms of the data center and also fiber connectivity to rest of the African countries. And also here there are a lot of local expertise, talents, and many multinational companies headquartered are located in South Africa. So we believe that this can serve our customers better. And of course, in the near future, we will be expanding our cloud resources and to reach more countries.
They even have a cloud partnership with MTC in Namibia.
Huawei is just a system vendor just like any other, and our procurement system is arranged in such a way that we look for the best and we look for affordability. And of course, we have been in a long-term relationship with Huawei in terms of supplying us with the necessary technology that we require.
These are some of the launches and discussions organizers of AFRICACOM say they're happy about.
We've seen really significant growth over the last few years. I think we started off as a telecom show and rapidly broadened into digital transformation. And as technology has shaped society, business, people's lives, the show has grown along with that. So we have new features on IoT, artificial intelligence, 5G, the types of technologies that are affecting Africa's growth. Africa's digital economy is thriving, and the people who are driving that are present here. So I think we've benefited from that growth.
As the world is becoming increasingly connected, and with tech being a part of every aspect of our lives, one can bet that AFRICACOM will continue to be a popular event. Let's take a break from AFRICACOM now and go to Seed Stars Africa as they host their South Africa prize giving ceremony here in Cape Town.
Our number one, the winner of Seed Stars South Africa 2018 is
In Cape Town, Frank has been chosen as the best tech startup in South Africa.
In financial services, the importance of being transparent, being honest, is so important. And so we launched Frank and the brand which has that sort of transparency at its core. And we are effectively a digital advisor. We want to help people make the best financial decisions they can.
The next phase for the country winner will be to meet up with other startups from the rest of the continent in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania.
The main prize that we are giving is a $500,000 US equity investment prize. But in addition to that, I think the total will amount to around $1 million US in prizes that we'll be handing out.
The end goal is for Frank and other winners from the rest of the continent to compete at the international competition in Switzerland. In parts of the world, video content is the most consumed content. It's becoming increasingly popular here in Africa too. One of the conversations taking place at AFRICACOM is looking at how to make it easier for both customers and distributors to deal with video.
We had a stagnating broadband business on a saturated market, and how would you do to get more customers to take your broadband service in a competitive market and increase the revenue with those customers? So video and TV channels have been the solution, and what we have done, we have invested into technical solutions to provide TV services, entertainment services to our customers.
From our side, it's really been about creating access to those digital video opportunities. So we introduced FreeMe in 2016. Last year we introduced some FreeMe bundles, which video bundles, which are referred to as Telkom Lit, which literally give viewers an opportunity to access those data bundles and making it easier, zero rating content to those bundles. This year we've even gone further. We've made them even more accessible, making them shorter time, bite-sized chunks. So if someone is looking for just a 30 minutes or 30 minutes an hour of viewing at a much more affordable rate, so basically managing the cost of data specifically for streaming of video and music content.
In Africa, some of the things to be aware of is that the fixed line rollout is behind the mobile rollout. So you have to look at mobile video propositions. But many times money from content is more to be made in the home. Okay? So this takes you to a converged strategy. But actually there's a bigger insight than this in Africa, which I believe carriers need to understand, which is that content monetization is probably not the game at all. Right? They actually own the network, they own the customers, and what we've seen from our customer stories in the video forum today is that the synergies between having a video-centric strategy for consumer experience, they just benefit the telco so well.
It is SABCNetwork on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Let's take a short break now and we'll be back with more from here at AFRICACOM.
They say cricket is boring. You and your friends, all of this sweet bowling, and all this music. Thank you, LKG. Come on, Nana. We're in mood. They say cricket is boring. This is T20 cricket like we've never seen it before.
Fast, fun for all. The Mzansi Super League. Live on SABC3 and SABC Radio.
To be a part of something like this makes me proud, and I think that to be able to report the news in a fair, just, independent and impartial way is what the public broadcaster stands for.
It is SABCNetwork on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Welcome back. Mobile money was one of the big talking points here at AFRICACOM.
Africa is often seen as the last frontier, but many see it as the leader in cashless transactions. In East Africa, mobile money payment services are used to pay for groceries in shops, pay for public transport, and transfer money to family and friends. There are regions where cashless transactions are seen as slow to pick up.
With all payment systems, it's always a matter of do people trust it, do people want it, do people need it? Is it actually solving a problem for them? And I think in South Africa we've gotten to a point where we're starting to see the fruits of that.
Some blame cybercrime for this.
They probably have every right to be a bit wary. The losses in fraud these days, over $10 billion in 2017, and there's no sign of that changing really. Yeah, because firstly we have solutions designed for businesses to help consumers, first of all, make it as easy as possible to make transactions, but secondly, to protect them at the same time as well.
But there are cybercrime solutions providers who say we need not worry.
We need to embrace other ways of transacting, right? In our environment in South Africa, cashless is the way to go. It is safe, it's secure, and as smartphones become more prevalent in all demographics in South Africa, from the user's perspective, it should be something that gets accepted.
Looking at over 100 indicators, well over 100 indicators for fraudulent patterns, maybe something like bad IP addresses, or it may be, 1 minute you're in Cape Town and the next minute you're in Nigeria. Lots of different things we're looking at, and just spotting fraud that way, and then we're able to make a decision based on lots of different things, whether this is going to be a fraudulent transaction or, in the vast majority of cases, whether the transaction is a real transaction.
South Africa has more bank accounts than any other Africa country. There are those who say that's the reason mobile money services don't seem to work here. So Yoko, founded in Cape Town, has come up with a cashless payment method for small businesses, and receipt can be emailed.
In South Africa, we've seen that a lot of small businesses need to accept card payments to grow their business, right? And a lot of consumers come into the shop, want to pay by card, and leave if they cannot. And so we've seen that there's a lot of businesses that need card facilities to grow.
While each African country is unique, those in the sector say there is still room to scale and transfer services to new African territories.
No matter what country you go to on the continent, SMEs make up a massive majority of the economy, right? They are the ones that employ people, they're the ones that drive GDP, and so they're really the big change makers on the continent. And we think that there's a big opportunity for us there to add value and help SMEs thrive and grow and really unlock commerce at scale. But different markets have different characteristics, and we'll need different methods to approach them.
A business that's chosen to use digital platform for payments is nighttime entertainment app Mowgli.mobi.
Cashless payments is just one section of the app. Ultimately what it is, it's an integrated platform for the entertainment and the nightlife solution. So whilst it does do cashless point of sale, it also does mobile ticketing. It's also a loyalty and rewards program, as well as running promotions and coupons for brands, events, venues that deal within the entertainment and nightlife industry.
Since the day M-Pesa launched over a decade ago, many in Africa have clearly realized that cash isn't king, and the mobile phone has taken over most things.
It is still SABCNetwork on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Now joining me is South Africa's Telecommunications Minister, Dr. Siyabonga Cwele. Dr. Siyabonga Cwele, hello, thank you very much for joining us. Now, are you happy with how AfricaCom has gone this year?
I'm very excited about the turnout first. I'm told over 15,000 people around here. A lot of companies are participating, which is very good, not only for Cape Town economy, but for the South African economy, because it's a very good platform where our small startups can share information, new innovations will be demonstrated, big companies can see seal deals, and small companies can seal deals. So we are becoming this premier destination for discussions about the new technologies, the new digital economy which we are facing. I'm told this morning some of the companies who made commitments in terms of investment, like Huawei, they were launching their cloud services, which is important. Data centers are very critical for the digital economy as we are going. We are also very excited about the innovation centers, companies who are putting innovation centers in South Africa, because that's where the new applications are going to come from. That's where our young entrepreneurs, our young students and our youth are going to get exposure to participate very effectively at a high end in terms of skill in the digital revolution.
Why do you think South Africa keeps on being chosen by these companies that host their data centers here and the companies that have other investment in the African continent?
Yeah, the first element in South Africa, we've got a stable democracy. Much as sometimes we make a lot of noise, but the investors see us as a stable democracy. In terms of basic infrastructure, South Africa were one of the countries which endowed with a lot of basic infrastructure. We have got a good educational system, much as we still have got a divide issue, but we have got good educational institutions. We have got good financial system, good road networks. We have got one of the best electricities, much as we complain sometimes about load shedding, but we have got one of the best electricity energy systems in the continent. So most of the companies, because of these good policies and democracy deepening in South Africa, they see as a good base to put their long-term investment, the foreign direct investment. That's why companies like Huawei, they are putting their data centers. That's why Liquid Telecom, they are putting data centers for Africa here in Midrand. That's why the companies like Amazon Web Services, they are putting a huge data center for Africa here in Cape Town. So those are the good things in terms of investing in our sector to prepare us for the fourth industrial revolution. But the innovation centers, a lot of international companies also, they're following the same route. General Electric put an innovation center for Africa in Johannesburg. And Huawei has put in their new campus an innovation center in Johannesburg, and many more other companies. They are really seeing South Africa as a springboard to invest in Africa.
Then how do you make sure that investment stays in the country and then the skills transfer as well that comes into the country? Skills don't come from elsewhere and then buckets of money then leave South Africa without any skills transfer.
No, I can tell there is a huge opportunity for skills transfer. Because, like I said, if you bring these innovation centers and data centers, you have to employ, they do employ local people. They take our young technical people and engineers and expose them, because you can have a university degree, but if you don't have a practical exposure, then it won't help you. So they are assisting us. Most of these companies are actually also involved in training. Remember, we've got a program called Internet for All Partnership, where we're working with private sector and civil society to diffuse and make sure that every South African has got access to affordable broadband internet. So most of them, they are training just people in basic skills, but most of the tech companies, whether it's Huawei, whether it's Cisco's and Amazon, they make huge commitment. Whether it's Microsoft, all these OTTs and telcos, telecoms, they run specific program, annual program, where they take our young people, graduates, on those who are still in universities, and train them and allow them to be exposed, and they come with their research papers. For instance, SABCNet from Telkom. It's a huge premier event every year where we bring university students and expose their research, test their research, and so that they can make those research into practical innovations and then commercialize them. Huawei, for instance, we've got a partnership, like I said last night, with China, and Huawei is part of that partnership. Every year we select students from our technicons and universities who are taken to their campuses abroad, their university campuses, and get exposed. But most of them, what is good, they are employed. Eventually by even Huawei and other companies. They become like hotcakes when they come back from these programs and they complete their university degrees.
Dr. Siyabonga, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, and remember that it is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Let's take a short break and we'll be back right after this.
To be a part of something like this makes me proud. And I think that to be able to report the news in a fair, just, independent and impartial way is what the public broadcaster stands for.
Can the President, acting outside the Cabinet, instruct you as the Minister as to which board member you must appoint?
No.
Democratic Alliance and Mayor Patricia de Lille have come to a mutual agreement that in fact resolves the question of the leadership of the DA government in the city of Cape Town.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Welcome back. Now, tap-fly security cameras are also part of what's on show here at AfricaCom as we live in a weird world where we are always on surveillance. Now, here's what else happened in the rest of the tech space.
Amid concerns of a cyclical downturn in the US, auto industry Ford is pushing ahead to partner with companies of all sizes in a strategy it says will be critical to the development and deployment of self-driving technology.
We'll partner with large, medium and small businesses plus governments to move people and goods in a way that will be safer, cleaner, efficient, enjoyable, and we think reliability is going to matter. You don't want any of these things breaking down.
In the meantime, Ford is testing different ways in which self-driving vehicles can be used to carry people and goods. In Miami, for example, the company is collaborating with local businesses to test designs for vehicles that can deliver food, laundry or flowers. On Wednesday, Ford said it will work with Walmart Inc. to design automated delivery services. And now we go to Japan. With nearly 40 wedding guests looking on and filming the special moment, AKIHIKO KONDO lifted up the veil on his bride and kissed her. The only catch? KONDO's bride is Hatsune Miku, a virtual reality star developed by a Japanese music technology firm.
I believe the concept of happiness and love is different for each person. I believe there is something like a temperature for happiness, where a real man and woman get married and have children together. But I don't think such a template can be applied to everyone to make them happy.
Since deciding Hatsune Miku was the one, Kondo said he has remained faithful and devoted his life to the virtual pop star, who has thousands of fans domestically and internationally. In 2017, Japanese tech developer Gatebox, which developed the holographic devices, began issuing marriage registration forms for users of their favorite virtual characters. Gatebox said in a press release on their website that over 3,700 of these unofficial marriage certificates had been issued. And now we go to Germany. Premier League clubs have agreed in principle to introduce video assistant referees from the start of next season, they said on Thursday. The top leagues in Spain, Italy and Germany are already using VAR, which allows disputed incidents to be reviewed with the use of video replays, and the technology was used at the World Cup in Russia this year. This decision comes after contentious refereeing decisions overshadowed a 1-1 league draw between Southampton and Watford last weekend. The introduction of the technology comes after clubs voted unanimously against its use in England's top flight during the 2018-2019 campaign, instead agreeing to continue testing of the system.
This week, our poll question on Twitter is asking if you think politicians should keep their nudes or sex videos on their private smartphones. 28% of respondents say yes. There's 22% who say no. 47% are asking who cares. In last place are 3% who say they don't know. That's all we have for you. Remember to find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Use network at sabc.co.za on email. From me and the rest of the team are right here in Cape Town. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
To be a part of something like this makes me proud, and I think that to be able to report the news in a fair, just, independent and impartial way is what the public broadcaster stands for.